That's for my nephew. The Bayou here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let me turn Joe Bonamassa off just a little bit here, because I do love me some Joe Bonamassa. Just saying. This is a systems check here on our rebdird STEM education platform, and checking it out here. So this is, we're not shaping impressionable minds yet. So we're going to give this a try here. I'm checking everything, and again, it's just purely a systems check here with what's going on. I'm going to cycle through several different media inputs here, as well as look and do some teleprompting and do some Lord knows what. I may stand on my head. Sound check also, we're going to be doing that. I do have a fan running in the background that I'll be turning off here, but again, this is just a systems check. This is our second check. I did the first one. The first one went, I have no idea where it went, but I could not find it on the channel. Hopefully I'll be able to find it on this one. So we're just going to cycle through some things here. So first of all, I'm going to run here from camera 1 over to the Surface Pro. So now we should be seeing the intro to flying. Here in the intro to flying, this allows me to kind of scroll, do whatever I need to do with the text for anything that requires any form of writing, I can do here on the screen. And as you can see, suitable for framing. So back to the book here. So we look here, we can do everything. History of flight. When was the history of flight? We can ask that question. Any ideas, my children? How about this date? Check this one out. Really? We're flying 2500 BC? Yep. So with this, this allows me to cycle through here. I can also queue up other Surface Pros to bring online here also. So for instance, if I want to bring up Surface Pro 2, which has the various elements here, this allows me to preview and to show the various things here on a primary flight display with this. As I'm explaining that, I can also queue up whatever I need to do back here on Surface Pro number 1, coming back here, the Greg Roark addition to that. So that's what we're doing here. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and queue up camera number 1. Camera number 1 is set up here, so we're back here. This is the main camera. And then from here, I can also go over here to camera 2. Camera 2 is online here right now, so this is the one that I'm addressing at this point. Camera 2 also allows me to read what's on the teleprompter, and I'll go ahead and read. This is part of a letter that I wrote for a young lady. I'm writing this letter on behalf of Grace Ferguson. I've known Grace and her family for almost 4 years. In that time, I've seen Grace make one of the most amazing transformations I have ever had the pleasure to witness. The first time Grace walked into my classroom, I almost didn't see her. The first impressions that I had of her were a very shy, unsure teenager. The FAA ground school classes that I teach are very demanding, and I wondered if she was ready for such a challenge. Early on, she struggled, and I could tell that she was becoming frustrated. She arranged a meeting with me and her parents to discuss her continuing participation in this course. I need to learn to read better. During this meeting, I learned the story about Grace and her family. A few years before, several members of Grace's family were killed in an aircraft accident. This tragedy certainly left a scar on Grace, but rather than turn away from this event, she chose to face it. She knew how much flying meant to those in her family who lost their lives and wanted to honor them by learning to fly herself. This was a first for me. I must admit that I wasn't sure how this was going to go. Grace's mom and dad certainly had mixed feelings regarding their daughter's desires, but they supported her in her decision to make this a reality. We talked a great deal about the process of becoming a pilot, what it was going to take, and developed a game plan to make it happen. With Grace in the lead, we began to work a plan. I noticed a change almost immediately. I think we're probably done here with my reading prowess. Now I'll go back here to the main camera here, camera number 1, double checking everything to make sure that we're live, make sure that we're still broadcasting here with this. And with that, I'm going to stop this one. This one again is just a systems check. I know I have glare coming back there from the back side of Studio 504. Looking here at my audio feeds, all of my live feeds, all of that is still showing good. Still running here, camera 1. Yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. It appears that we have about 5 minutes of video on here somewhere, if I can find it. So that'll be the challenge. Anyway, there we go.